5 News This Morning starts now.
As shoppers race to find those last-minute Halloween costumes, coming up, we'll hear from one local store owner and how tariffs are impacting their business.
And high temperatures a little bit warmer today, looking pretty nice for Halloween. And after a little bit of a dip this weekend, things are warming up as we head into November. We'll talk more about the warmth incoming here and the Halloween forecast coming up.
And the latest on trade talks between the U.S. and China. The leaders of the world's two biggest economies met this week. We'll have those details in minutes.
A live look outside this morning at 6:30 in Fort Smith. Good morning to you. It's Thursday, October 30th, so that means tomorrow is Halloween. Hope you got the costumes ready. Around here, we're decorating pumpkins.
Yes, we are. We spent a lot of time doing that. If you were just tuning in, you haven't seen them yet, but we'll show them at the end of the show. The voting is now open, so if you have seen it, vote for Suey.
Or the pufferfish.
Or Robert's house.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about weather because
What about Emily? She didn't get to say for herself.
Or the gnome. Or Jacob Luthie's carbon.
We'll show you
Yes,
into the show. You can see them all.
We got to support them all. But yeah, we'll talk about for that Halloween forecast, redecorating pumpkins. Lakes look pretty nice. We'll show you what's going on right now across the region. Winds are much lighter than yesterday. You see the word calm and you're like, it almost like is one of those like affirmation words, like a calm, like, I feel calm now because those winds are so much lighter than yesterday. At max, you can see 8 miles per hour in Clarksville. So yeah, it feels a whole lot better out there right now. Although temperatures are still a little bit on the cool side, but this is kind of where we should be this time of year in the low to mid 40s, upper 30s there in Eureka Springs. So compared to this time yesterday, it's actually a little bit cooler with the temperatures, but it doesn't feel that way just because the winds are so much lighter. Straight after the bus stop here, we'll see some patchy fog, cool conditions, temperatures in the 40s, some sunshine by recess and temperatures in the 50s. Then as you're heading home, we'll see mostly sunny skies, that high near 60 degrees. So feeling pretty nice heading into our Friday. Now, in terms of what we're going to expect, the yellow orb returns, that is the sun. We'll maybe see some frost on Friday morning, especially in northwest Arkansas. Halloween shaping up to be a pretty nice day. We'll talk more about it here coming up in your full forecast. For now, I'll take a live look at traffic for you on this Thursday morning. Take a live look in the Springdale area along I-49 at Sunset Avenue. You can see kind of in the distance that cloud cover. Might be seeing a little bit again of that patchy fog. Generally speaking, though, should be good driving conditions on the way to work today. We'll have that full forecast coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. 6:32 this morning. We're following a developing story out of Mansfield where one of the city's police officers has been arrested. Stephen Townley is accused of stealing 2 handguns from the Mansfield Police Department. Investigators believe Townley then sold them for $400 to a local pawn shop. Now, he's been booked into the Sebastian County Jail. He bonded out for $2,500. His first court date is next Wednesday. The Mansfield Police Chief says Townley has been terminated and has been recommended for decertification. In other news this morning, a Fayetteville homeowner has found a mysterious grave marker in his backyard.
The discovery has sparked questions about who, if anyone, may be buried there. The marker was found in the northwest corner of the property on South Washington Avenue. It was engraved by hand with the name Paul Conger, and it was in the year of death, 1928. Local historians say that the handmade marker could indicate a private cemetery. However, initial research has uncovered no records of Paul Conger, who died that year. You can read more about this on our website, which is 5newsonline.com.
Well, new this morning, Halloween, it's tomorrow, and many are expected to buy those last-minute costumes, even the decor. Yeah, we all know how that goes.
Yeah, that's us. 5 News reporter Emily Moss is joining us live after speaking with a local party store and has more. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. The Party Place in Fort Smith has been open for well over a decade, and the owner tells me they're still struggling to stand out against the big box Halloween stores. This spooky season, the average consumer is expected to spend nearly $40 on their costumes this year. It's up over $10 from the last year, primarily from tariff impacts. Despite this, the Party Place has their costumes listed as 50% off to try to attract more customers to the local business. Owner Melody Sanford says each year they're brainstorming ways to stand out against corporate seasonal stores as an establishment that's open all year long.
Pop in for 2 months and then leave. Yeah, it is. It's very frustrating, I would say, that's where people just think to go first. You know, we try to have customer service, really help the customers find what they're looking for. I don't know that you get that with big box stores.
This year, tariffs were a big talker for Halloween costumes. Sanford says their prices were slightly impacted when they were buying their stock, but for the most part, the biggest impact was delayed costumes. Some of those hotter items arriving at the store as late as this week. And a reminder, they are open still even on Halloween day.
Thanks for that, Emily. Well, Rogers City Council has unanimously voted to go forward with an expansion project at the Rogers Executive Airport. It's being called the T-Hangar Apron Expansion Project.
Yeah, the T-Hangar is an enclosed storage unit for multiple smaller planes that's shaped like the letter T. City Council appropriating over $350,000 for the project. A grant from the Department of Aeronautics will also add another $300,000 in funding.
President Trump is on his way back to Washington hours after his high-stakes meeting with the Chinese president.
Yeah, the president, though, announcing that the two leaders could be close to signing a trade deal. Jared Hill has more.
President Trump wrapped up his week-long trip to Asia with a much-anticipated face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time.
At the top of the high-stakes sit-down, the Chinese leader acknowledged that the world's two largest economies don't always see eye to eye, but noted a need for some cooperation.
Our two countries are fully able to help each other succeed and prosper together.
After the nearly two-hour-long meeting, President Trump told reporters the two countries could sign a trade deal soon, announcing plans to immediately cut its extra tariff on Chinese goods from 20% to 10%, after Beijing agreed to do more to stop the flow of chemicals used to make fentanyl. But few other details, as Trump signaled they'd settled issues over China's rare earth mineral exports, and that the two discussed computer chips and China restarting U.S. soybean purchases, a move that would help struggling American farmers.
We're losing money, and it's a very desperate time.
Ahead of the meeting, President Trump wrote on social media that he's directed the Pentagon to conduct nuclear weapons tests.
I see them testing. I say, well, if they're going to test, I guess we have to test. I'd like to see a denuclearization.
It follows North Korea's announcement that it test-launched cruise missiles a day earlier, as well as recent missile tests by Russia. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, despite his threats to resume nuclear weapons tests, President Trump last night pushed for denuclearization.
He also repeated his interest in meeting with North Korea's leader, saying that a busy schedule prevented it during this trip. Well, it is now day 30 of the government shutdown. Republicans and Democrats both sparring over a dim push to fund nutrition programs like WIC and SNAP. Now, this after the Department of Agriculture said it would not reach into a contingency fund to extend benefits. Democrats are wanting to extend health care subsidies, but Republicans argue that should happen after the government is reopened.
People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times.
When you hold power, when you're in the majority, you meet people. You pull them in.
Meanwhile, troops are due to be paid on Friday and Saturday. Healthcare premiums are set to increase when open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act begins. That same day, food stamp benefits are set to expire.
Well, this morning we're taking a look in Washington, D.C. 5 News spoke with Arkansas 3rd District Congressman Steve Womack, who says Congress should not pass a continuing resolution through the end of the fiscal year. He says lawmakers should aim to pass a shorter funding bill instead.
That's a bad idea, and that's a bad outcome. That's funding the government based on priorities that are 2 years of age at funding levels that are 2 years old. And I can't support just continuing to kick this can down the road.
An Arkansas state senator is asking the governor to issue a disaster proclamation to assist SNAP recipients during the shutdown. Senator Jamie Scott says that the state should use the proclamation to prepare and mitigate potential losses with SNAP benefits. Our sister station in Little Rock reached out to the governor's office for comment, but has not yet heard back.
Well, as the shutdown threatens SNAP eligibility, local groups are stepping in to help. You can find a list of food banks around our area on our website, or just text the word food to 479-785-5000 and we'll send you that list.